RealNet orientation call. Today we're going to be walking through the key features of the RealNet custom platform brought to you by Royal LePage Commercial. We're going to start today. You all will have received your own login information that will allow you access to the system for the entire trial from July the 2nd through to July the 31st. So to get started, you are going to go to www.realnet.ca, which will take you to the home screen of the service. You're going to click on Login. And you will put in the email address that your login information was sent to. That's the email you will use for your login. And the password will be the one that, again, was emailed to you on July 2nd with underneath your login information. If it's your first time logging in, you're going to need to click on the terms and conditions. You're going to scroll to the bottom once you've read them, of course, and then you're going to click Agree. From there, you'll click the check mark and click Login. So this takes you to the home screen of the RealNet service. So we're going to walk you through a few key features. For those of you who are outside of the Greater Toronto area, Greater Vancouver area, or Greater Calgary area, which are the three major markets that RealNet currently services, you have been given access to the greater metropolitan area that falls closest to your home location, your office location. So for instance, if you are in Ottawa, you've been given access to the GTA. If you are in Manitoba, you have been given access to Calgary and so forth. So one of the first things you're going to want to do once you log into RealNet is you're going to want to go into your account information and you're going to want to edit your profile. Key reason this is so important is if you are posting listings, you're going to want to make sure that the information that is shown on your listings provides your correct contact information. And secondly, for your custom client reports that you'll be emailing out with market updates, you want to make sure that, again, that has your correct contact information. So you're going to click on your profile. And here you're going to, again, your username is your email address. This will have your office name here, and then your first name, your last name, and of course the email address that you would like displayed on your custom reports and on your listing. I highly recommend that you do not use a generic Gmail or Hotmail address. You want to show your Royal LePage or Royal LePage Commercial email address, as these show to be the most professional email addresses you can show. Again, if you do want to show your cell number, you're going to put it in the mobile phone number and then your office phone number as well. Should you choose to list your position, broker, agent, what have you, you can list that in there. The other thing you can do is you can add a photo if you'd like. You can add in either a photo or your logo. However, I will advise you the logo information will already show on the reports, which I will show you in just a few minutes. So you're most likely going to want to add a photo of yourself. So what you would do is you would go to Google Drive, which is where all my files are stored. You're going to look under where your photo would be stored on your computer. You're going to pick your photo and you can crop it accordingly. And you can crop and save. And then again, your photo is going to show on all of your client reports that you sent out to them. So we're going to save that to make sure it's saved for future use. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to perhaps want to manage your listing. So if you have a listing that you would like to post, you're going to go into commercial listings. However, we're going to go into that in just a few minutes. So as I said, you're going to want to start with your profile and make sure that your profile has been updated correctly, and you're going to want to see this profile updated successfully to know that your changes have been saved. So let's go back to the home page, and you can do that by just clicking the RealNet icon at the top. And there's a number of different ways that you can search the system. I'm going to show you three key ways to search the system. The first one we will do is the first one we're going to, if you go into search and commercial search, depending on the market that you've been given access to, you would pick your market. So mine is Toronto, so I'm going to pick the Toronto market. And bear with me just a moment. It's taking a moment to load. I'm not sure. All right, let's try that again. So we're going to go to search, commercial search. There we go. We're going to pick the GTA, and we are going to pick, we'll start with industrial. You can click submit, and just so you know, you can pick multiple asset classes, not just one, but I'm going to start with just industrial so that we don't get too many results. And then you can either click on the map to the particular area you would like to search. So if I wanted to click Mississauga, I would click here, and Mississauga is going to show up in the municipality. If I wanted to pick by street name, I could do so. If I wanted to pick, let's see, if we wanted to pick here, Ontario, in Mississauga, and again, the region will, this is Peel, but if you leave that blank, it will select the region that Mississauga falls under. You can pick a date range. So if I'm looking for things that have sold in the last 12 months, I would pick last 12 months and it will auto-populate. And again, you can pick the size range you're looking for. If you have a client who's, you're looking to find out what has sold in a particular size range, you can do that. Price range and cap rates. Now, just so you're aware, cap rates, they will show them on the records for the buildings when they have that information. Again, you can look by vendor or seller. You can look by purchaser, brokerage, or brokerage agent. If you know that it's a particular brokerage, if you know that Royal LePage sold it, or CBRE sold it, or Colliers, you can put in the brokerage name as well. However, I'm going to leave that blank for the moment because I am looking to find everything that is sold on Huron, Ontario in the industrial asset class of Mississauga that's sold in the last 12 months because I'm trying to do a comparative analysis. So let's see if anything has sold that fits that criteria. And as you can see, nothing has sold on that street. And just showing you that street in particular in Mississauga, there are not many industrial, if any, directly on Huron, Ontario Street. So what do? We don't want to save the search. I'm going to go back and I'm going to modify the search. And if we clear out the street name, we put in Mississauga, and we're going to leave that because I think to myself, well, I'm going to look in a particular size range because I'm trying to compare a building that is 20,000 square feet. So I'm going to pick buildings that have sold between 10 and 50,000 square feet, and I do want to keep that in the last 12 months. Okay, so I've got a number of records to choose from, as you can see. So it's showing you that 73 buildings in Mississauga between 20,000 and 50,000 square feet have sold in the last 12 months, and it will display a maximum of 200 results at once. So it just so happens that Anagem, Superior, those are streets directly in the area that I was thinking of with respect to a building that I wanted to compare to. So if we dig into the record, you're going to be able to see additional information, but I just want to show you here. So this is the date on which the sale closed, the address, the municipality, the selling price, the total square footage, price per square foot. If they are able to gather the information, you'll show a cap rate that's been listed here, and what type of sale was it? Was it a marketed sale? Was it a distressed sale? It's going to list that here. So we're going to go into the listing for 400 Anagem Boulevard. And what we're going to find as we go through the record, so we're going to find the address, the overall location of the building. So this is north of Highway 401, west of Kennedy Road, Region of Peel, municipalities of Mississauga, the event date, which is the close date, the sale price, building size, as we said, price per square foot, market. Now here you'll notice, see where it says brokers. This means that there were no brokers who participated in either the buy or sell side of this particular property. Now, should you find a record that you're looking at and you say to yourself, well, I actually was one of the participating brokers, I represented the buyer, you could then click on the Send Feedback on Record, and an email window is going to pop up where you can indicate, so it's showing comments on RealNet record and it shows what the record is you're speaking of, and you could add in below, I was the buying broker on this sale. Please me for further details. And then you would click send once you have the number right, and they would contact you to get further information on that particular sale. And I have seen this happen, so do make sure you do send feedback if you see something that is inaccurate. RealNet reaches out to the brokers routinely to get information on sales, and I'm sure a number of you have had those calls come in where they're asking you about the details of a particular sale. So as we move forward, we're going to come back to this in a moment, the current sector report, and I'll show you how critical it is to use this information to be able to send out to your clients. But let's go back to that. So interesting about this transaction, so you'll see here the property history. So if the property has sold in the time that RealNet has been covering this particular area, you will see all of the transactions within that history period, and you'll be able to click through to them to see what the previous transaction was. So this one sold in 2005 previously, and again, you can gain all of the information with respect to that previous sale. So very helpful when you're trying to put together the history on a particular property. So the other piece that's very interesting is if a building or piece of land is part of a portfolio sale, it will list the other buildings that were part of that portfolio sale. So you get the full picture on what happened in this particular transaction. So down below, you're going to see the legal description of the property, lot details, lot area, of course, who the vendor is. So this one was Sun Life Assurance Company of Canada, the signing officers, and the address for service. So again, this is a key tool in building your database as well. So I'm going to show you in a moment what we would do with this information. Down below, the purchaser was Menkes Development. If the buyer or seller is a numbered company, RealNet goes behind the numbered company and will show for you who is the name or company behind a particular numbered company, and again, the signing officer and address for service. So this is really, really helpful. So many of you who I've walked through the RealNet service with, realize the hours that this will save you in digging behind who a numbered company is, and of course, how to contact them. Property details, so this just shows you the land use details and what it is currently zoned for or what future zoning could be, general notes. And if you wanted to see exactly where the location is, you just click the map and it is going to show you where on the street this particular building is. So if we scroll back up, I was mentioning to you, we're going to want to look at a key function. So the view report under the current sector report, let's click view report, and we want to see the client report. And the client report is something that you can set up your prospects and clients to receive on a quarterly basis. And this one, because the property is an industrial property, is going to pull up the GTA Industrial Q1 report. So if you've chosen to put your photo in your profile, your photo will show our logos along with your company name, the office in which you work for, your contact phone number, and your email. So as I said to you, I've put in Royal LePage Commercial as my name, but if I had changed it, it would show Lucy Bressa, my company name, phone number, and of course my email address. So if you sign your clients to receive these reports on a quarterly basis, you will be in their inbox on a quarterly basis, giving them market updates to the particular asset classes that you've signed them up for. So this is an incredibly powerful tool and one that no other brokerage company in Canada has. This is a purely customized service that RealNet offers only to Royal LePage Commercial. So I'll show you in a few minutes how to sign your clients up for that. But again, an incredibly powerful tool, one that you will then follow up, hopefully, with phone calls once the reports go out, talking to them about what's happening in the market and what the trends are and how they'll impact either for them an upcoming potential sale, an upcoming purchase, and as well if they're looking to lease in the future, because the cost of properties selling directly impacts the net lease rates that we see in the various markets as well. So we're going to close this one out. And we're going to go back to the record, and we're going to go back down to the vendor and purchaser information. So for myself, I use a CRM tool called ClientLook. This is one that is built and customized specifically for the commercial real estate industry. But for instance, if I was looking to build my CRM with particular property information and who owned those properties, I would click on Properties. And I would add a new property. And I would put in the street address. So this one here is 400 Anna Gem Boulevard. So I'll go back to ClientLook. And this is an industrial Mississauga. If the building had a name that was known publicly, you could put that in there as well. And it is in Ontario. And the postal code. The postal code I'll have to go in and find. It's in Canada. Property name, if we have one. Again, the market. So this is in Peel. So if I had set that up, I can put in the market, the submarket, measurements, currency. So I'm going to put in Canadian dollar, measurements, and I'm going to put US because, as we all know, most of us still use square feet. And property type is industrial. I know this building is used as warehousing. I would put that in here. Building size, so what did we see? It was 22,034 square feet. And it's a single floor building. Year built, I don't know that information, but can be found out. Building class, this would be considered an A-class industrial building, as I know that it's a fairly new building. If I know vacancy and occupancy, I can put that in here. Tenancy, it is a single tenant building. Construction type, again, if I know what that is, if it's a concrete slab, you can put anything that you know about the building. If there's a particular website for the building because it's under management by a property management company, you can put that in here. So again, you can build out all of the information that you know about the particular property, and also put in the owner of the building, etc. So this is a really fantastic tool to building your client database as well as your property database if you're trying to build that in a particular marketplace. So again, I can use this information for future prospecting opportunities if I'm selling a building in this area. So let's say, for instance, I have listed this building. So this is a building at 400 Anna Gem that I have listed, and I want to market to individuals or companies who have purchased industrial property in this area in the last 12 months because they may be looking to purchase other properties, similar properties. So in order to do that, I can go to search, and I can do a map search, and we're going to pick GTA. And we're going to put in the location because we know it. It's 400 Anna Gem. And there we go. And it's going to bring us directly to where the building is. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I wanted to take an area slightly bigger there. So we're going to drag the map down here. And what I want to do, so I want to find I'm going to do a polygon search to find out what has sold in this area in the industrial class. So I'm going to click on industrial, and I'm going to pick polygon. So I'm going to start it up here. I'm going to bring it down to the 401. I'm going to bring it over to Dixie Road, and I'm going to just drag this down a little bit so I can capture this top corner up here. And so this is going to be the area of search that it's going to search in. I'm going to click search. And this is going to show me that 429 properties have sold in this area. So that is quite a few properties to go through. Of course, you're not going to want to go through all 429. But if we sort this by date, we can find the most recent properties. So I wanted to find the last year. So we can see here there's quite a few that have sold in 2015 already, and we can of course go down all the way back. In the Greater Toronto Area, RealNet has been tracking commercial real estate sales since 1995, and in various other markets, the dates are slightly different, but this will go back to 1995. So if you see here, you'll see the property type in the cluster. That means there's 21 properties in that cluster. If we zoom in, it will separate the clusters as you get closer to the area. So the property I was looking at was on Anagem, which is right here. So I'm probably going to want to focus on, a smaller area because there's quite a few that have sold. So if we see properties in this area, we can either click on the bubble to see the specific property itself. This one was 35,000 square feet, and if I'm looking between 20 and 50,000 square feet, whoever purchased this property may be interested in purchasing what I have listed as the example which we used, which was 400 Anagem Boulevard. So if you wanted to look at this particular property because it sold in 2014, which is in the time frame we're looking at, we would click on details. And it's going to open the property details of this record. So you'll see here too, it was adjusted because there was information that was found out about the sale that they went in to adjust the actual sale price. So this one here, so it was 6550 Danville Road, Mississauga. This sold for $14,035,525 square feet. And in this one, we do see brokers. So the brokers involved in the sale were with Colliers. Again, we can click on the client report if we wanted to take a look at what the current market activity was. And you'll see here this last sold in 1997. If we wanted to look at that record and find out the details of that sale, we would click on the address here. And again, further information about the property, the seller. So this was, again, signing officer, address for service. And then again, so here's a great example. This was a numbered company that they had on title for this property, but they've gone behind it and shown you that it's actually Pride Truck Sales Limited, who is the actual buyer, and they are going to be a user themselves of this property, the signing officer and address for service. So again, I would go and take this information and populate it into my my CRM tool. So again, if I wanted to do this by company, because I know that the Pride Truck Sales is the one using this building, I would go in, take Pride Truck Sales, copy that. I'm going to add a new company, put that in here. And we know it's 550 Danville, et cetera, We would put in the rest of the address, the phone number. We can find that quite easily by Googling it once we've got the company name, their website, of course. What kind of contact is it? This would be a prospect. So it's going to be a prospect buyer. So purchased close to 400. And whatever other information that you wanted to do, and I would then add this company. So as I said, I wanted to show you again, you can see how taking the information that you find in RealNet, you can then use and populate and create your sales pipeline with respect to prospecting for a particular listing that you may have. So again, we did that with a map search, and again, to go back to the map search that we were doing, so this here showed here on the map. I just want to show you, if you see so see here behind this blue is a black haze here. What that black piece is actually is a listing for sale. So bear with me a second. It's hard to get in there. But there is a listing back there. It's tough for me to see. I'll show you that in a moment, how to get into the listing. So again, if you want to expand this up to be able to see more listings, you do that, and you can scroll through. As I show, there's 429, which is quite a few. But as you can see, you can very quickly get a great picture of the activity in this industrial asset class in this area that has happened. So you can also do a radius search. So if you click radius, and we were on Anagem is where we wanted to be. So if I said I wanted to zoom this out a little bit, we're going to start on Anagem, and then we're going to pull it out to a 2-kilometer radius. Oops, there we go. And we're going to stick with industrial, and if we click search, again, it's showing us now 260 properties have sold in this particular 2-kilometer radius from where we started on Anagem Boulevard. So you can either do it by radius, polygon, or polyline. And the polyline, if you wanted a particular street. So you'll see here, Ontario was the first street I searched in our webinar, and this is, I could start. So if I clicked polyline, I would click starting here and ending here. And if I changed my asset class, because we know there was no industrial that was sold, but if I said, well, let's change that to office and retail, knowing that particular area, I know there are office and retail buildings in that, and if I click search, well, there was only one sale back in 2010 that fell into that. So again, if I wanted to go in and get the details, I would click there. And it's going to show me, so this was a Husky gas station that sold, so it was a business transaction, it was a business sale. And again, we can show that particular client report if we wanted to. And again, who sold it, who bought it. And again, I would take that information and add it to my CRM tool up at the top here. So one of the other things I wanted to show you is the profile search, which is incredibly powerful when you are trying to determine what a particular buyer or seller has purchased or sold in the last little while, to gain an understanding of what their purchase or sale criteria may be. So if we did a profile search, and I'm going to pick, because I know they've purchased and sold many industrial buildings, and we're going to stick with that asset class now. So if we click KingSett as the company we're searching for, and I want to see what they've purchased, because if I have an industrial building that I'm thinking I may want to prospect KingSett to see if they want to purchase it, I want to find out what they've bought in the last while, so I can gauge what the what sort of criteria they're looking for in the buildings they buy. So in industrial, we've got 54 buildings that they've purchased in the GTA since 1995. So let's click on the 54 records. And we want to, it automatically shows up by date chronologically. So the most recent one they purchased was actually this in June 11, 2015 in Whitby, 13 million. Size was 259 square feet at $50 per square foot, and it was a market sale. So if you look further down, you'll notice here that they've been purchasing. So in 2013, they bought one at a 5.4% cap rate, and then back in 2010, they bought quite a few right in the 7.8% cap rate. Isn't that interesting that they were all at the exact same cap rate? All the way back down to 2008, they bought at 7.2. And look at this, back in 2003, 2002, they were able to buy at 9.8, 8.7. So interesting to see the cap rate trends as they've progressed over the years. So again, this is market intel that you can use when working with both buyers and sellers to talk to them about the trends over the years. So if we wanted to potentially prospect to this seller, we noticed that the size of the buildings they've been purchasing tend to be over 100,000 square feet since 2010. So all of the industrial buildings they're buying are large, most likely warehousing facilities. So we may believe that the building we were thinking about, which is 400 Anagem, probably isn't going to be of interest to them because they're buying buildings that seem to be far greater in size to the building that we were talking about. But what you will see is they've been purchasing in a number of different geographic areas. So they may not be the one we want to prospect, but if we had something else that fell into the size that they have been buying in, then of course we could potentially prospect those buildings out to them. So we've looked at a map search, a profile search. The other way you can use a profile search is to find out who has been selling things. So if you said to yourself, well, I want to find out what KingSett has been selling in order to find out if perhaps they may have properties that no longer meet their investment criteria, that perhaps I may be able to have them sell additional buildings that no longer meet their criteria. So they've sold 134 industrial properties. However, they've purchased, that we saw just a few minutes ago, they've purchased 54. So interesting, so in 2015 alone already, they've sold a number of properties. They sold quite a few back in 2014. And again, looking at what they've been selling, isn't it interesting to see a lot of what they've been selling are these smaller buildings. So there's an opportunity for you to reach out to them to find out if there's any other buildings they may own that fall in the area that you may be looking for one of your clients to purchase building. Again, it looks to be that they're selling many of their smaller properties because their investment criteria may have since changed over the last number of years. Quite an interesting thing to see. And when you look at what they're selling them at, they seem to be at a lower cap rate than what they were buying them for. Look at these ones here, sold at a 5.9, 5.4. So very interesting. So again, really, really critical for yourself in trying to prospect out for clients who are both buying and selling. So if we found that this was a search that we wanted to save, you can go ahead and you can save these searches. You can also, if you wanted to use a few of these in a listing presentation or to be able to share with clients, you would just click off those that you wanted to share, and you can print selected results, and you can either print them off or save them via PDF and be able to send them out to clients individually. All right, so we've shown how to edit our account. We've seen how we can do a number of different searches, either by property or by map, etc. Now let's go down to the commercial listing search. So if we wanted to find out what properties may be listed that we may want to get more information on, so we're going to stick with our industrial asset class in the GTA, and we're going to pick in Mississauga. There we are, that's where we were, in industrial. And we're going to find out, we're going to leave the price range unlimited, and we'll leave the brokerage and broker agent empty. So currently, nobody who is a broker who has access to RealNet is currently have any industrial listings in the Mississauga area, which is somewhat surprising, but let's try that again. Commercial listing search in Toronto. Oh, sorry. Yes, that's right. Why did it? So commercial listing search. There we go. GTA. Let's see what's under office. So for those of you who have listings that you can enter into the system, I highly recommend you do it, as it's not only the brokerage community that has access to RealNet. The investors themselves, many investors who have funds to be investing in the market. So we've got the large REITs, we've got the banks, we've got a number of institutional and non-institutional investors who have access to RealNet and would contact you directly should one of your listings be of interest to them and they want to contact you. So let's take a look at this one. This is an office property on Madison Boulevard in Mississauga. List price is $12.5 million, size 52,000 square feet. It's by Colliers. And here we would have to contact Adam in order to get more information. So this is all of the information that the listing would show, because the goal of this is for the interested party to contact you directly to get more information, and of course the brochure, etc. So it's very critical that you've got your correct email address there. So let's go in and look at the market reports, because many times you're going to want to take a look back at some of the previous market reports, as well as be able to share some of the presentations with your clients. So if we look at the market briefings, if you choose to join RealNet, you will be invited to the market briefings that RealNet does, and it's a fabulous opportunity to come together with clients, to listen in on the briefing, or to do it as an office meeting with your commercial group and commercial agents to get a feel for what's happening in the market. So this one here, every time they do a market briefing, they will, after the briefing takes place, they will upload the presentation itself, so you'll be able to use that presentation in talking with clients, and of course using some of that information as well on client presentations and prospect presentations. Commercial reports. If we click here, so in the area that you are registered, so for instance the Greater Toronto Area, Q1 stats are here, and then you've got your individual sector reports by sector. So this is the overall report, and then this breaks it down by sector. So if we were interested in the industrial sector, again, we've got the client report, and if we pull that up, just as a reminder, that report's going to have your contact information at the top. If we look at the standard report, sorry, let me just go back in. If we look into the standard report, and I will show this here. The standard reports do not have your personal information. So just so you're aware, it's going to be the client report that you want to send out to your clients, since that's going to have all of your contact information in it. So if we go into our account and we want to manage our report alerts, this is where you can go in and add your clients to receive particular reports. So if it was John Smith, and this is his, so we'll say he is a industrial client, and he's with Suncor. I would say he wants to receive the GTA industrial report, and you can get an alert to your clients, and you can add your clients here to receive. So first name, last name, their email, and you would add the client, and it would be John Smith, J. Smith. And if you want to be notified when they receive the reports, which I would say is not a bad idea, so that you make sure you follow up with them once they receive the reports, you would click CC me, and then you would click Save Changes. So you can add as many clients as you want in to receive your quarterly reports, and I would suggest that that be one of the first things that you do to make sure that your clients don't miss out on any of the upcoming activity. With Q2 closing at the end of June, for all markets, it's most likely that you want to add them now so that they get the Q2 updates that will be coming out in July. So again, we can save those. And if at any point you are unsure on how to use a particular feature of the service, we have included in the emails that you've received the user manual for RealNet. So again, here is our custom platform user manual that you would have received in your email. But if at any point you need to find out more information on how to get the most out of the service, you can contact myself, Lucy Bressa, of course, or you can contact RealNet directly. They have a service team that is happy to walk you through any of the key features of the service to make sure that you get the most out of it. So our trial, as I mentioned, will run from July the 2nd through to July the 31st, and you are able to use the service an unlimited amount during that month, and I highly suggest you do in order to really use this powerful information that all of our competitors use. And again, if you are in markets outside of the Greater Toronto, Calgary, or Vancouver, you as well have been using, or excuse me, have been given access to the service so that you can target buyers and sellers that may want to purchase or sell in your given markets as well. So to find out more, please log into the system at your earliest opportunity in order to see how you can use this service to really boost your business going forward. So any questions at any point, please do feel free to email myself, which is Lucy Bressa. It's LucieBrusse at RoyalLePageCommercial.com, and look forward to having you all use the service. And do stay tuned. We will send you out weekly tips and tricks in order to make sure you get the most out of this monthly trial. So until then, thanks very much for listening, and look forward to talking to you again later in the month and getting your feedback on the service. Take care and have a wonderful day.